Emily works as a waitress in a small restaurant, serving customers regardless of her own exhaustion. One afternoon, during her break, she sits down to eat a simple lunch. But before she can take a bite, she notices a hungry boy staring at her food. Without hesitation, Emily splits her sandwich and gives the boy a larger portion. Unbeknownst to her, a man in a suit across the room is watching a moment that will change her life forever. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stories to Heal. Today, I am happy to share a new story with you. Don't forget to subscribe and watch to the end. Emily's days often pass like a thick fog, filled with tired smiles and legs that ache every night. Each morning, she wakes up with a heavy heart but full of enthusiasm, preparing for a long day at the small diner where she works. As a waitress at a diner on the outskirts of town, Emily relies on tips and hope to survive. Her wages only cover basic needs, while the dreams she holds in her heart feel like distant stars out of reach. The diner is a stop for locals and travelers passing through town. Every morning, before the sun fully rises over the horizon, Emily is there, greeting regulars who come in for a cup of warm morning coffee. Her routine is like a wheel that keeps turning, taking orders, filling empty coffee cups, cleaning tables, and making sure customers leave with smiles on their faces. Although Emily always tries to provide the best service possible, her presence in the store still feels like an inconspicuous shadow amidst the hustle and bustle of the place. Her uniform that has faded with time, her worn shoes that have changed shape from their original form, and a friendly smile that never fades even when she is tired, rarely get any special attention from the customers who come in. She seems to be part of the invisible background, like a table or a chair that is always there but never really noticed. Every night, after her duties, Emily returns to her small apartment. The apartment is simple, consisting only of a bed, an old sofa, and a tiny kitchen that is almost always empty. Her life is quiet, her closest family is long gone, and the friends she once had have slowly drifted away over time. She often spends lonely nights on an old sofa, thinking about dreams that never came true. But despite her hard life, Emily still had a heart full of kindness and compassion. One busy afternoon, Emily finally found the opportunity to sit down for a moment and enjoy her break. She brought a simple lunch, a sandwich she had made with her own hands at home that morning. With slow movements, she unwrapped the sandwich, savoring the peaceful moment that felt so at odds with the hustle and bustle of the store around her. However, before she had a chance to take the first bite of the sandwich, her eyes were drawn to a boy standing outside the window. The boy looked thin, wearing clothes that seemed much larger than his small body, with an expression that radiated a deep hunger. Emily looked at the boy with compassion, her eyes radiating a feeling of sincere pity. She understood very well how hard it was to live in poverty, because she had been in a similar situation. Without the slightest hesitation, Emily raised her hand and waved gently, inviting the boy to come in. The boy, with his small, frail body, seemed to hesitate for a moment. He looked around to make sure it was safe before finally daring to step inside. His steps were small and cautious, reflecting a deep sense of shame. Once inside, he approached Emily's desk and sat down in one of her chairs. His head was bowed low, as if he was trying very hard not to attract the attention of anyone in the room. With a gentle smile on her face, Emily cut the sandwich in front of her into 2 pieces. Without hesitation, she gave the larger piece to a small child, standing in front of her with shabby clothes and a face full of expectation. "Eat," Emily said in a soft, loving voice. The child stared at the sandwich in his hand with wide eyes, as if he could not believe that someone would be so generous as to give him food without expecting anything in return. Slowly, he took a bite of the sandwich. This small bite felt so significant, and he chewed carefully, as if he wanted to savor every taste in it. Meanwhile, Emily sat in front of him, watching the child with a warm gaze. A feeling of happiness filled her chest as she watched the child eat with gratitude. In another corner of the cafe that was not too crowded, an elegant-looking man in a neat suit sat quietly at a small table near the window. His gaze was fixed directly on Emily, who was busy with her activities, unaware that her every move was being watched. The man watched carefully, noting every detail of the woman's actions. He observed how Emily performed such a small act of kindness in such a sincere manner, without the slightest hint of pretense or desire for attention. Emily, completely absorbed in her concern for the little boy in front of her, was completely unaware of the man's presence. Behind his calm face, the man seemed deeply impressed by Emily's actions. He felt that Emily's kindness came from a pure heart, without any ulterior motive to gain recognition or praise from anyone around her. After finishing his meal, the little boy lifted his face. With a shy smile, he looked at Emily and said softly, "Thank you." The words were simple but meaningful. Emily returned the boy's smile with a nod, feeling relieved that she had lightened, even for a moment, whatever burden the boy might have been carrying. As the boy walked away, Emily stayed where she was, staring at the little boy's back with hope in her heart. She hoped with all her heart that the boy would find a better path in the future, one that would lead to a happier and more hopeful life. The next morning, Emily was surprised to find something out of the ordinary. A small envelope had been slipped under her apartment door, seemingly by accident. With deep curiosity, she immediately bent down and picked up the envelope, then carefully opened it. Inside was a note written in neat handwriting. "Kindness never goes unnoticed. Thank you for caring." Even when no one is looking, Emily was silent for a moment, her eyes fixed on the words, reading them over and over as if searching for some deeper meaning. Her mind drifted back to the incident at the cafe yesterday, when she had inadvertently done something small that might have left a deep impression on someone. She tried to remember, but could not be sure who might have written the note. Still, the words in the message gave her a warm feeling in her heart and made her smile. She felt appreciated, even without knowing who gave her the appreciation. Days passed, and one afternoon, the same man in a suit showed up again at the cafe where Emily worked. This time, he did not stand and watch from a distance. With confident strides, the man approached Emily. He immediately praised Emily's small act, which he felt was very meaningful and valuable. "What you did," he said with a voice full of conviction, "has given me confidence that there is still true goodness in this world, and that there are people like you who can change the world with their small actions." Before he left, the man handed Emily another envelope with a smile. He asked her to open it when she got home, without telling her what it contained. That night, after returning to her modest apartment, Emily sat at the small table in her living room. Her heart was pounding with curiosity and excitement. With slightly shaking hands, she opened the envelope and lost herself in the excitement for a moment. Inside, she found a job offer letter that was so moving, offering a salary that was much better than what she was getting now. Not only that, there was also some money as a token of appreciation for her efforts and hard work so far. Emily's eyes immediately welled up with tears of joy. All the struggles she had gone through, which seemed so hard, suddenly seemed to be bearing sweet fruit. She felt that her life was beginning to show a glimmer of new hope. With gratitude and a warm heart, Emily hugged the letter tightly and realized that the doors of opportunity were beginning to open wide for her. But even as Emily's life began to change for the better, she remained her old self. She remained a woman with a loving heart who believed that every small act done sincerely and selflessly could have a big impact on the lives of others. Emily knows that kindness is a universal language that can bridge differences, touch hearts, and give hope to anyone who needs it. And that is what she will continue to do every day, without fail, believing that the kindness sown today will bear fruit in the future. Like this story? Click like and subscribe for more stories, and share your thoughts with a word in the comment section.